Have you ever wondered if the foods sitting on your plate right now could actually be stealing years from your life? I know that sounds intense, but here's something that might shock you. Tomatoes, yes, those bright red vegetables we've been told are so healthy, might actually be causing serious damage to your body if you're eating them with the wrong foods. And if you're over 60, this becomes even more critical because your body processes food completely differently than it did when you were younger. Now, I'm not saying tomatoes are bad, not at all. They're packed with nutrients that can help your heart, your eyes, and even protect against certain diseases. But here's the problem most people don't know about. There are three specific foods that, when combined with tomatoes, can trigger reactions in your body that lead to digestive chaos, interfere with your medications, block essential nutrients your bones and brain desperately need, and even increase inflammation that's already working against you. The worst part. You're probably eating at least one of these combinations regularly, maybe even daily, without realizing the damage it's doing. And unlike when you were younger, your body can't just bounce back from these mistakes anymore. Every meal matters now. So before you make your next salad or cook your next meal with tomatoes, you need to know exactly what foods to keep far away from them. Because what I'm about to share could be the difference between thriving in your golden years and struggling with preventable health issues that'll hold you back from enjoying life. The first dangerous combination might actually surprise you, and it's hiding in kitchens everywhere. Let me explain why this matters so much more now than it did 20 or 30 years ago. Your digestive system isn't the same powerhouse it used to be. After 60, your stomach produces less acid, your intestines move slower, and your body doesn't break down foods as efficiently as before. This means foods that never bothered you in your 40s or 50s can suddenly become problematic. Tomatoes are naturally high in acid, which is actually beneficial in many ways, but that acidity requires your stomach to work harder. When your digestion is already slowing down, adding the wrong foods into the mix creates a perfect storm inside your gut. And here's something most people never consider. If you're taking medications, and let's be honest, most of us over 60 are on at least one or two prescriptions, certain food combinations can actually interfere with how those medications work. Blood pressure pills, cholesterol medications, blood thinners, even supplements for your bones and joints can all be affected by what you eat with your tomatoes. Your body is also absorbing nutrients differently now. Calcium doesn't absorb as easily. Iron becomes harder to process. Vitamins that used to flow right into your system now need extra help. When you combine tomatoes with the wrong partners, you're not just creating digestive discomfort, you're actively blocking your body from getting the nutrients it needs to keep you strong, sharp, and independent. But there's one combination that makes this 10 times worse, and it involves something you probably consider completely harmless, maybe even healthy. Here's the first food you should never eat with tomatoes after 60, and I'm willing to bet you've done this countless times without thinking twice about it. Cucumbers. Yes, those cool, refreshing cucumbers that seem so innocent in your salad. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cucumber and tomato salads are everywhere. They're classic combinations that we've been eating our whole lives. But here's what's actually happening inside your body when you mix these two. Tomatoes require a specific type of digestive enzyme to break down properly because of their acidity and dense structure. Cucumbers, on the other hand, need a completely different enzyme because they're alkaline and have high water content. When you eat them together, your stomach gets confused and has to produce both types of enzymes simultaneously. For younger people with strong digestion, this might just cause mild bloating. But after 60, when your digestive system is already working overtime, this combination creates fermentation in your gut. That fermentation leads to gas, bloating, acid reflux, and that uncomfortable fullness that lingers for hours, but it gets worse. This process actually blocks the absorption of vitamin C from the tomatoes, which your immune system desperately needs. It also prevents your body from properly absorbing lycopene, that powerful antioxidant in tomatoes that protects your heart and fights inflammation. So you're eating what you think is a healthy salad, but your body is getting almost none of the benefits and instead dealing with digestive distress that can affect your entire day. And if you thought that was concerning, wait until you hear about combination number 2, because this one directly impacts your bones and could be making your osteoporosis worse without you even knowing it. Let me break down exactly why this cucumber and tomato combination becomes such a serious issue as we age. When that fermentation starts happening in your digestive tract, it's not just creating uncomfortable gas and bloating. It's producing compounds that trigger inflammation throughout your entire body. And if you're dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or any kind of chronic inflammation, which most of us over 60 are, you're essentially pouring fuel on a fire that's already burning. Think about how you feel after eating a big salad loaded with cucumbers and tomatoes. Do you notice that heavy, sluggish feeling? That uncomfortable pressure in your stomach that makes you want to lie down. That's not normal digestion. That's your body struggling to process conflicting foods. And here's the connection to your blood pressure and heart health. When your digestive system is in distress, it actually triggers stress hormones in your body. These hormones cause your blood pressure to spike temporarily. If you're already managing high blood pressure with medication, these repeated spikes can work against your treatment and put extra strain on your heart. The signs your body is reacting badly are usually right there, but we've been taught to ignore them. Persistent heartburn after meals, that sour taste in your mouth hours later, irregular bowel movements, unexplained fatigue after eating, and even skin issues can all trace back to problematic food combinations. Your body is trying to tell you something's wrong, but we keep making the same mistakes because we simply don't know better now. The second combination might already be in your fridge right now, and this one is even more deceptive because it's marketed as incredibly healthy. The second food you must never combine with tomatoes is dairy, specifically cheese, milk, or yogurt. And yes, I know this is going to be tough to hear because some of the most popular dishes combine these exact ingredients. Tomato soup with cream, pizza with tomato sauce and mozzarella, pasta with tomato sauce and parmesan, that caprese salad with fresh mozzarella and tomatoes that everyone loves. These combinations are everywhere and they taste amazing, but here's what they're doing to your body after 60. Tomatoes contain high levels of citric acid and malic acid. When these acids mix with the calcium in dairy products, they form compounds that your body struggles to process. This doesn't just cause digestive upset, it actually prevents your body from absorbing the calcium you desperately need for your bones. Think about that for a moment. You're eating cheese or drinking milk because you've been told you need calcium to prevent osteoporosis and keep your bones strong. But when you pair it with tomatoes, you're blocking that calcium from ever reaching your bones. It passes right through your system without being absorbed. And for women especially who lose bone density faster after menopause, this is absolutely critical information. But the calcium issue is just the beginning. This combination also puts extra strain on your kidneys, which are already working harder as you age to filter everything properly. The acids from tomatoes combined with dairy proteins create a workload that can contribute to kidney stone formation and kidney stress over time. But here's what really shocked me about this combination, and it's something that affects almost everyone over 60 who's taking any kind of medication. Here's the part that truly concerns me about mixing tomatoes with dairy. If you're taking calcium supplements, vitamin D, or medications for osteoporosis like bisphosphonates, this food combination can directly interfere with how those medications work in your body. Your doctor prescribes these treatments to protect your bones. Yeah. But then this common food pairing sabotages the entire process without anyone realizing it. The acids in tomatoes don't just block calcium absorption from the dairy, they also affect how your body processes the calcium from your supplements and medications. So you're faithfully taking your pills every day, spending money on treatments, but getting minimal benefit because of what's on your dinner plate. And there's another layer to this. Many seniors take acid reflux medications or antacids because of digestive issues. When you eat tomatoes with dairy, you're creating even more acid in your stomach, which means you need more medication to control it, which then affects nutrient absorption even further. It becomes this vicious cycle that keeps getting worse. The warning signs are often subtle at first. You might notice your heartburn medication isn't working as well as it used to. Maybe you're experiencing more frequent indigestion or that uncomfortable burning sensation in your chest after meals. Some people develop a persistent cough or throat clearing, which is actually acid reflux in disguise. Your energy levels might drop because your body isn't getting the nutrients it needs despite eating what seems like a balanced diet. And the third combination, this one affects your brain, your memory, and your ability to think clearly, which is something none of us can afford to compromise at our age. The third and most critical food you should never eat with tomatoes is refined carbohydrates, specifically white bread, white pasta, white rice, and processed crackers. And this combination is absolutely everywhere in our daily meals. Tomato sandwiches on white bread, spaghetti with marinara sauce, tomato soup with crackers, pizza on white flour crust. We've been conditioned to think these are normal, comforting meals, but they're creating serious problems for your brain and overall health. Here's what happens when you combine the natural sugars in tomatoes with refined carbs. Both foods spike your blood sugar rapidly, but together they create an even more dramatic surge. Your pancreas has to release a flood of insulin to handle this sugar overload, and after 60, your body doesn't manage this process as efficiently anymore. This isn't just about diabetes risk, although that's certainly part of it. These repeated blood sugar spikes and crashes directly affect your brain function. Every time your blood sugar swings wildly, your brain struggles to maintain steady energy. You know that foggy feeling you get after a big pasta meal? That's not just being full, that's your brain being starved of stable fuel. And over time, these constant fluctuations contribute to cognitive decline, memory issues, and increase your risk of developing dementia. But there's more. The combination also triggers massive inflammation throughout your body. Refined carbs alone cause inflammation. Tomatoes have compounds that can increase gut permeability when paired with certain foods, and together they create an inflammatory response that affects everything from your joints to your heart to your brain. Let me explain exactly what this does inside your body at a cellular level. When refined carbohydrates and tomatoes hit your digestive system together, your body converts them into glucose incredibly fast. This rapid conversion sends a surge of sugar into your bloodstream, and your brain, which runs on glucose, initially gets this huge rush of energy. But here's the problem. Within an hour or two, your insulin response crashes that sugar level down dramatically, and suddenly your brain is running on fumes. This crash affects your ability to concentrate, remember things, and process information clearly. If you're already noticing memory lapses or struggling to find the right words, sometimes these blood sugar swings are making it significantly worse. But the impact goes deeper than just immediate brain fog. Every time you experience these dramatic spikes and crashes, you're damaging the delicate blood vessels in your brain. These tiny vessels are responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to your brain cells. When they're constantly stressed by sugar fluctuations, they become less efficient, and over years, this contributes to vascular dementia and cognitive decline. The inflammation from this combination also affects your energy levels throughout the entire day. You might notice you need a nap after lunch, or you feel exhausted by mid-afternoon even though you slept well. That's not age, that's your meals working against you. Your mitochondria, the energy producers in your cells, can't function properly when they're dealing with constant inflammation and unstable blood sugar. And this affects not just your brain, but your muscles, your heart, every organ in your body. The timing of when you eat these foods matters too. Eating this combination at dinner means your blood sugar is unstable while you sleep, which disrupts your rest and affects memory consolidation. So what should you eat with tomatoes instead?